Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio, starring award-winning real estate coaches and #1 international best-selling authors, Tim and Julie Harris. Real Estate Coaching Radio is the nation's #1 daily radio show for realtors who demand authentic, real-time coaching. Get ready for fluff-free, unfiltered, full-strength honesty about what's truly working to get you into action, helping others, and making money now in today's real estate market. Now to our hosts, Tim and Julie Harris.
3, 2, 1, and we're back. Hey, Julie, it's October 21st. So listeners, normally Julie and I have a agreed upon topic that we're going to present to you during the weekly podcast. And today, Julie rushes into our little podcasting area and says, set all that aside. I got things I want to talk about. And I said, Julie, what do you want to talk about? She goes, just hit record. I'll tell you when we're talking.
That's right.
So I'm all for it. So before she gets to her mystery topic, I want to, as always, Julie and I are big into showing gratitude. And I want to show gratitude towards all of you for continuing to make this the #1 listened to daily podcast in the United States. And we are also actively listened to and downloaded in 54 different countries. So thank you for making our dream a reality. And thank you for supporting all of our efforts to be of support to all of you guys. And a reminder for all of you, undoubtedly the perfect holiday gift for everyone in your life. And I'm talking about your mom, your dad, your kids, your wife, your husband, your grandma, your grandpa, your dogs and your cats. The perfect holiday gift is undoubtedly Harris Rules, our book.
That's right.
You can get, and guess what? It's already in festive green. I don't know if you put this.
That's true.
It's maybe a little
holiday
teal.
appropriate.
It's a little teal, maybe. Yes, but
it's blend with your decor.
And it comes perfectly wrapped in a beautiful cover that says Harris Rules, expanded edition. So the book is for sale everywhere, including bookstores near you, airports and whatnot. But the easiest way to get it, obviously, is Amazon. So go ahead and get as many copies of Harris Rules as you can possibly muster. And that's what we always give away to everyone, all of our neighbors, our friends. Everyone gets Harris Rules.
Everybody.
They're like, Tim, you gave this to us last year. And we're saying, like, well, did you read the newest updated edition?
That's
the
right.
expanded edition? That's right. The red book, the original one, has been expanded. So here's the expanded edition. So it's an opportunity for all of you as well. So Julie,
yes.
What is your pressing topic?
My topics typically come hot off the presses after a series of coaching calls or maybe our premier coaching. And that's a good way for us to tell what's on the minds of many agents. All right. Now, maybe if you're not just freshly licensed, maybe you're not thinking the same way. But I would say, by and large, our listeners are coaching clients. So that's what it's coming from. Now, it is fourth quarter. We're halfway through October. We're staring at the holidays. It's, by and large, the weirdest year anybody's ever experienced. And so this is what's coming out. People want to do, and this is a typical time to plan, their past client appreciation gifts, or in many cases it would have been a party, right? So how are you guys handling this? This is the hot topic because you've got to plan what you're going to do. So point number 1 is make sure you are crystal clear on your town or your state's specific COVID rules, right? So if you're in phase 1, most states our governors are saying, you're in this phase or that phase. There are 2 rules that you have to know. One is, what is the rule for your business? Because businesses have different rules than, quote, social gatherings.
So let me preface that.
Yeah.
So this is the reason that you guys, Julie's point is incredibly important because your errors and admissions insurance will not cover you for COVID. So if you basically are, and I'm not hearing of any cases of people doing events and having people get sick and then there being litigation around it, but I would not be surprised if there were. So the strongest of all suggestions is have this be a social event and not a formal business event. And you can do that. Business
is a little bit better, but I've got the solution to solve all this.
All right, so I'll just shut up.
It's okay. But you should know what are the business, and it varies state to state. So in many places, your business maybe can be at 25% capacity. And is that a better number than if you had like a small past client appreciation party?
So you're suggesting they do it at like a restaurant or something?
Maybe. Know what your rules are because we're all in different phases now.
Yep.
Okay, so be very clear on that because people love to make an example of somebody screwing this up. And the media is just chomping at the bit to have another super spreader event to report on, unfortunately. So none of you guys are allowed to do that. Now, how can we kind of tape that off the plate? Now, we're thinking about, we would lump this into past client appreciation, pop buys or events. You can be thinking about pumpkins or pies or ornaments or wine or flowers, whatever you're going to do for, say, your top 25 past clients. Now, That doesn't have to be your past 25 closings. Maybe you look back through the year. Maybe you've got 2 people on that list that didn't close with you, but they sent you lots of referrals. So make your list.
Well, so the way Julie and I did that every year is you've got to recognize that there are people who have sent you business that you are not even acknowledging or know have become like your own, their own, what would you call it? They're your super spreaders in the community.
In a good way.
In a good way, right? So there are people out there that are going to always be great referral sources for you. Find out who they are and then gratuitously thank them. And then Julie said something else there. It's really critical. Even if they sent you a referral that did not happen, the very fact that they thought of you, you need to acknowledge them, thank them, show gratitude, and then reward them.
Yes, that's right. So there's 2 versions of how this is playing out in terms of timing. And you can think about, maybe you're going to do something for Halloween. Maybe you're going to do something for Thanksgiving or Christmas or all of the above. So decide what it's going to be. But after you've got your list, usually realistically 25 to 35, top people, you want to do something special for, right? So 2 ways that this is happening. If you are running a brokerage that has a public office, right, where normally you'd have a get-together, instead of doing that, do what some of the schools are doing. Here's how you handle that. Let's say that you've got, you're maybe amongst all of you and your agents, you even have 50 people you want to thank. So what you do is you announce that you're going to have a drive-through party, okay? And you split it up so that everybody's got a different time slot. You got 5 or 10 minutes in between cars. You decorate your, the front of your office. Nobody's coming inside, so you're not breaking any COVID rules. You're not having gatherings of more than whatever the number that you're not allowed to have is. And you basically have a past client appreciation parade drive-through type of thing. That's if you have a location and you normally would have had it either in your office or you would have had it at a restaurant. You keep it outside and you split them up.
So what about the idea of renting a movie theater and then obviously pushing any potential liability off to the movie theater, and let people, let the movie... You
still have to deal with the capacity. Is it 25% and how many people is that? And then you have to manage how people...
But that's just a function of letting the movie theater...
You can do that. You can do that. And you can split it up. Maybe because you can't have all 100 people, you have 2 different days and split it up.
There you go. And that's what a lot of our bigger, obviously more successful agents with lots of lists, they'll have one in the afternoon, one in the evening. And we're talking about showing a family-friendly holiday movie, renting the theater usually on like a Saturday afternoon for like a matinee type thing. And that's going to be another great way. And we have people in all price ranges doing that, not just the entry-level price ranges. I think even in some of the most expensive areas, that has worked out to be a great idea. And I don't know, Julie, do you have a tie into a charity worked into this?
Yes. I mean, so when you tie it into a charity, you should start by thinking who is already in my past client center of influence database, who is either running a charity or is enthusiastic about a specific charity so that you can tie it to somebody who's already connected with you.
If you don't have that, choose a charity and you should be tied to that charity. When Julie and I sold real estate, ours was, we had various charities, but the one that we always stayed with was the Humane Society. And so Julie thought this up. It was buy or sell with me and adopt a pet for free. Now we went to the Humane Society. We told them what our idea was. Of course, they said, well, the person has to qualify. They're going to have to, be good pet owners and the whole thing. And of course we agreed. And then we said, we'll just cover their actual hard costs of the pet adoption, which obviously wasn't much. And we put that page in our pre-listing pack too. Which you guys who are Premier Coaching members, you can see an example of that in the pre-listing pack. Do the same thing. Copy the same idea. You should always have it so that you're going to be in a situation where you're going to be seen as giving back to the community. So for the sake of doing this event, if you're going to do a holiday gathering at a restaurant or you're doing a holiday gathering at a movie theater, it is a great idea for you to maybe tie it into a canned food drive or some sort of
drive.
Exactly. And again, this is we've talked about these things in the past. This is a wonderful way for you to position yourself as a leader in the community. You might even, though I'm not sure, it depends on where you live. Frankly, you might want to tie this into a blood drive. And we again,
you get the bloodmobile. It doesn't. Right. It's funny. I'm talking to a lot of agents. They're like, do you know how cold it is here?
I know.
We're not doing anything outside. So you can get the bloodmobile to your parking lot or something.
That's the reason I said it depends.
Yeah.
Well, when we would do this again, and we have had thousands of coaching clients have replicated the idea. But what you do is you'll do maybe you're doing it at the movie theater, for example. Then you can call the Red Cross. You can tell them you're doing this charity. You'd like to involve them, and assuming they engage with the idea, they could then either bring a bloodmobile. That sounds That's a crazy name, by the way.
Halloween-y.
It sounds very Halloween-y, right? But they can bring their mobile vehicle by to take blood donations. Or if you are doing an event that is maybe near some kind of indoor facility, they'll actually set up gurneys and do the blood drive inside there. The benefit to you is you're going to get your name everywhere because the American Red Cross has the highest level press contacts. In addition to that, they actually directly pick up the phone and telemarket into the community for anybody that's donated blood before letting them know that they're there to take donations. So you're going to have the neighborhood, the community where you're doing this, be exposed to the fact that you are contributing to the betterment of the community. At the same time, you're doing this, obviously maybe it's a movie theater or whatever, you're doing this community event for your own centers of influence and past clients. So always be, and here's a nice thing about doing this time of year, because, the business is slowing down. New mortgage applications were down for the fourth straight week in a row. And people are thinking, oh my gosh, what does it mean? It means that there's an election in 10 days and that we're in fourth quarter, and that's called all this is normal, combining it with the fact that we're going to have an asteroid arrive and maybe an alien visitation.
It's called uncertainty, people.
It's called uncertainty, right?
It's not generally good for real estate.
So don't overthink it. Don't over-worry about the fact that mortgage applications are dropping. But it will be, in some of your markets, seem marketably slower. I know when Julie and I sold real estate, it did seem slower in the holidays because there were fewer people doing transactions. But use that energy that would normally go to maybe, basting turkeys and wrapping presents, do that, but don't allow yourself to go into a holiday or end of the year stupor. The weather changes, the weather gets cold. I get it. We lived that life for 30 years. So don't allow that to pull you down and ruin your momentum and your potential as you roll into the new year. Instead, maybe pivot and use those energies towards doing some of these ideas.
That's why we're talking about it, because the answer is not to do nothing. Especially as you see your market getting maybe a little bit temporarily weird, it's to revamp your energies and reconnect. Because what's the number one thing that, they've all been fast and furious, serious momentum.
Totally.
What's the thing that you stop doing? You're not talking to your past clients, your center of influence, your database. You're not you're not on the phone. Let's admit to that. Okay. So take a couple of weeks here. Maybe you do a couple of these different events. You could do a toy drive for Christmas. You could do a pumpkin giveaway or drive-through or pop buys, in the next 2 weeks. So just revamp your energies and reconnect with your people.
So we said something a second ago. So people that have overtly tried to send you business, whether it closed or not, those people deserve a special carve out. Yes. And if you're in an expensive part of the world where your average, referral based, your average commission is a whole bunch of money, you might, and you have maybe 15 people that are your, super spreaders, just trying to be kind of funny, but maybe that's not. And maybe you give them Mont Blanc pens. Maybe you give them something really, really special. Julie and I used to give the people that were, our advocates in the community, we would give them bottles of wine. And if it wasn't something that was appropriate, we'd give them something else that was also going to be a classy thank you gift. The key to making those work is you have to go knock on the door and give it to them. And don't let them know you're coming. Make it a surprise.
It's not knock and run. The point is to actually communicate. Wear your masks, be respectful.
Right.
But the point is for you to actually connect and to make them feel special.
And we'd do that on Saturday morning where we'd intentionally try to catch them in their pajamas, and if we showed up at their door giving them a nice holiday present and whatnot, it was very memorable. We did not have a single bad experience from ever doing that, and we got tons and tons of referrals just because of the fact that we made them feel special. That's the main thing. Recognition is one of the primary human needs that everyone has. And if you guys have noticed, all of the things that ideas we've given you so far are very simple to implement and will be fun. It'll put you in a good mood because guess what? When you're showing gratitude towards other people, obviously they're going to show gratitude towards you and you feel better. And everything starts to build momentum in a positive way. Now, what about holiday cards, Julie?
Well, holiday cards you guys should all be doing. I can't tell you how many times. We used to go on listing appointments all the time, right? And you got to remember, if you are at a listing appointment, it means that you might be competing against a previous agent, but they're probably not using whoever sold them the house. What was the most common thing they said? My agent didn't even bother to send me a Christmas card. Okay. Mm-hmm. People do get pissy about that. So, you can I like Thanksgiving cards because it's not, there's not as much mail around Thanksgiving and it's a little bit different and it's a message of gratitude. So that's an option too.
Right. And obviously you're going to have to choose what's more appropriate in your particular political world, whether it's holiday card or Christmas card or whatnot.
Well, see, that's why Thanksgiving is great too.
Well, but so let's be clear
it's
on
non-political and it's
What she's saying is two things, right? the card should go out as close to the beginning of December as you possibly can make it, because that's before all this silly catalogs start to arrive and all the onslaught of mail. And the other thing that's nice about having your holiday card arrive first is that it's going to be the thing that they remember the most because it was the first card. Be very careful that you don't screw up this holiday card thing. And it's so funny. Holiday letters that are sent in business envelopes with your corporate address on the outside of the envelope are not what we're talking about. We're talking about getting some holiday cards where their envelope is a certain color, where it's
actually feels nice. It's got a good weight to it. It's almost not quite a wedding invitation, but something you're not going to throw in the trash.
That's key. And you can buy these in bulk. There's a ton of places you can buy them. Now I can just hear the gears spinning and how all these agents are going to be thinking, oh, I need to figure out a way to automate it and systemize it and make it into... No. Write these yourself. Write these. We had, by the time Julie and I converted to coaching full time, now this is 1,000 years ago, I don't even know how many past clients we had, thousands. But some of them moved. It does not matter. We would start this operation usually around July, and we would start handwriting all the cards. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what we did, and it made a huge difference. Now, most of you don't have a huge centers of influence and past client lists, so what you do is you take your list of, say, 100 people, and you divide it by how many days you have to do this particular operation, and that's how many you do every day. But handwrite the cards.
And inside the cards, say something memorable, something nice. There's a great book called How to Say It Right, something like that, and then there's another one called The Art of the Handwritten Note.
Google it. I mean, you'll find tons.
You can find that on Amazon. There's lots of different versions.
Don't overthink
but they all
this.
make the same point.
Yeah.
Which is, don't just sign your name. Say, if you know the names of their kids or their pets or something, say, you can say hi to Fido or whatever for me. Personalize it.
And that's the key.
Meaningful, right? Take some time on this. This is nurturing your business. And there's lots of different resources for that. If you go to the post office and ask for commemorative stamps, you're going to get different. You can actually get Christmas stamps. You can get holiday. You can get snowmen. Whatever you want to do, make it look like you made an effort.
That's right. And so again, circling the wagons on this. This is the little key differences that over time there's an accumulative benefit to you, because most other people aren't going to take the time to make people feel special. And when you do, you're going to see the benefits for your entire career. If you're wondering what the certain, the it factor, the je ne sais quoi that some people have and others don't, it's these tiny little touches that make all the difference in the world. And again, the cumulative benefit of doing look, you don't have to do little handwritten holiday cards 12 months of the year, but during the end of the year, especially guys, after this crazy ass year we've had, probably, hopefully it ends with it doesn't go out with what would it be? You don't want it to go out. I'm stumbling. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way.
In an asteroid.
I'm just thinking of all the things that people are still predicting are going to happen this year. Let's just say it goes out quietly. Let's just say we have a nice end to 2020.
It'd be great to just have a calm December.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like January was pretty acceptable. Let's just end it this
But here's what's saying. I want to say it, but at the same time, my thinking is competing with it and realizing it's probably not likely.
I know.
But give them a nice little something that lets them know you were thinking about them, makes them feel special. And wouldn't you love something like this? I mean, just think about how it would feel when you get a handwritten card, and think how few handwritten cards you get anymore from people. So you've got to pivot. You've got to be the person that's taking the time that makes people feel really special. Don't just send cards to people who send you cards. This is not some sort of swap. Send cards to people that are going to be frankly, that just show appreciation to people. Make overt attempts to make people feel special, especially this time of year, and you'll be just incredibly surprised by the dividends you get. And look, if the only dividend you get, if the only payoff you get is the fact that you made them feel good, well, guess what? That's what this time of year is all about.
Yeah, and it reminds me of many conversations. I have clients popping to mind, Federico in LA, and David Tatum in Tennessee, and Chet Thomas in California. All of these guys have brought to the Premier Coaching Call several times this year. There's more of them. Those are just the top 3 names in my mind. That they routinely do handwritten cards as part of their lead follow-up and as part of their prospecting. We're talking about it in the holiday situation, of course. But it's great to be in the habit of a handwritten card. And it can just be like a postcard size, something heartfelt, something meaningful, that you were paying attention, and that you sign it. So the art of the handwritten card, I think, is, kind of underplayed. And
That's right.
You need to get good at it.
So now let's just talk about, there are some options to handwriting these yourself, okay? And some of them are really cool. Nowadays there's handwritten font, where you can write, essentially you'll write something, and then the font then is designed around your actual handwriting. So there's no discernible difference between you writing something and this being done automated. That's great. Do that if you can.
Especially if you have a ton of them.
There's other services too, and if you guys ask me for this, I'll research it so I can remember the name of it. But there's 2 companies I know about that actually will do exactly what I just said, but then in addition to that, they actually use a really nice Mont Blanc pen and write thank you cards on. So you'll go to the website, you essentially type in your handwritten card, and then it'll handwrite it on the card for you, and then it does everything for you. The system is then designed so that it'll just stuff the envelope, mail it, and you're off to the races. I've gotten those before personally, Julie and I have, and the only thing I don't like about them is that they do look a little bit too formal, and they're not friendly, and they're not really jovial.
It's good if you have, maybe you're a grizzled veteran, you got like 3,000 people on your list or something. You just make your own decisions, and maybe you do that for your whole group, but you you spin off your top 25 or 35, and you do your actual handwritten card and make that super nice.
Yep.
So related to all of this, I want to make sure that they got the point. If you are trying to figure out what kind of quote event to do, it is far simpler to attach to an existing well-organized event, like the Red Cross, like Buy or Sell With Me, Adopt a Pet for Free. Because those organizations will promote your event for you, and you have less heavy lifting. Thus, you can be doing your deals and your normal momentum. So that's a possibility. But as far as the pop-by ideas go, again, think about your own center of influence. So, for example, I know Colette's friends with somebody who makes wreaths, and another person that from like her past client list, another person that does like gift boxes. So maybe you've got someone, I know one of our clients, their past client owns a bakery, and they put together a nice little bakery mix.
But let's talk about that. Let's talk about perishable gifts versus gifts that are going to be sustaining. So what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, well, so don't leave, especially if you're going to leave it on the front step. We made that mistake once with pies. Raccoons will eat them, especially in the dead of winter.
Well, we didn't make that mistake with pies. It wasn't. Yeah, it was a client.
So that's why we liked wine.
But we have to tell that story because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So we had a coaching client. Julie and I never did pies. We had a coaching client that basically dropped off the whole organized like Navy SEAL Team 6 effort, where they all went out in like separate cars and they put all these pies in nice boxes. They spent a lot of money on this on people's doorsteps. Wasn't it our clients in Kennewick, Washington that did this?
No, they have them come. Maybe that first year.
No, they haven't. That's what I think. They're the ones that did this, and then going forward, the clients had to go to their office to pick up the pies.
Fix this little problem.
Right, and they did a pie distribution effort in the parking lot.
Yes,
to
and
fix
they're doing it again this year. They're doing a drive up. They've got walkie talkies so that they know when people are coming.
But see how cool is that? Yeah. And they could do that in conjunction with. You can, by the way, combine a canned food drive to donate to the local food bank at the same time that they're going to do a blood drive. So you can do simultaneous things at the same time. And then you could do your pie giveaway, right? So come by, pick up your pie. Hey, there you go. Write that down. Come by, pick up your pie. And then also while you're here, maybe do a blood donation, and please bring 2 cans of food so we can donate to the local food bank. But here's the funny part of this, getting back to the story. So they delivered all these pies, dropped them in all these boxes and all over this town. And it was like they gotten so much crap for it because basically what happened is every wild animal in every community,
What are you doing to my front porch? It's a mess.
Exactly. They ripped open the boxes and ate the pies.
So if you're going to do that, knock on the door and hand it to somebody. It's not a great idea to leave food things on the front porch. Okay.
Yeah.
But other ideas.
Or alcohol, by the way. Don't do that.
Exactly. So ornaments are always fine. Wine, flowers, pumpkins, things like this. But, maybe there's somebody that, in your database that does that, that does something special that you can give back to them and expand your center of influence. How great would they feel? I mean, think about how many businesses are struggling because, especially retail, because they can only be open to 10 people at a time, right? I think of like my friend that runs Fritzy Jacobs in Worthington. It's open, but she has limited hours. She has limited capacity. So if I were in Worthington, I would find something that I can buy from her to support her business so that I'm kind of tying all the knots together. And I got to get to Premier.
Okay, well, then I'll talk. Let's just vamp for 1 minute about getting these things sponsored, because I know there's a lot of people that are listening right now, and they're freaking out about, oh my gosh, all these great ideas. I want to do them all. I can't pay for them. Well, you can figure out a way to get them sponsored. And the easy buttons are going to be your title, escrow, mortgage, whatever, and get them to participate with you. And then, by the way, you get access to their center of influence and past client list, and you can expand your operation. So, I mean, there's a ton of ways to get things sponsored.
And don't forget, and maybe we'll talk about this in another call, the wrapping paper project is very inexpensive.
Just tell them.
Easy to do. So it's basically, now you can probably already get things cheap. So you get a whole bunch of wrapping paper that's like less than $1 a roll. You get some candy canes or something like that. You have bows. You do it up. We've got lots of examples on our website about agents that have done this. And it says something like, don't get wrapped up with the wrong agent.
Yeah.
And, we'll talk about it more when I've got it more at the top of mind. But you can do those as non-perishable pop-by gifts. You can use them in open houses. You can use them for lead follow-up. You can take 100 of them through your neighborhood and not spend hardly anything on it. And that's super cute and easy to do. You can buy something non-denominational if that's something you want to do. Like, you can do snowflakes. You can do snowmen. Everybody's wrapping presents, so... do something nice like that. And I've got examples of agents, usually it's in their own neighborhood, who do actually take listings off of this silly little wrapping paper project. It's so easy to put together. And now's the time to start gathering material to do that. So Julie, and I'll talk about that more in Premier.
Sure. So Julie's off to Premier Coaching. Those of you who are in Premier Coaching, thank you for continuing to be coaching clients. A lot of the things we talked to you guys about at the listing presentation, the pre-listing pack, the lead generation ideas, all the things that we share with you, most of those are, really, how do I say this? The free coaching program does not include a bulk of what's in Premier Coaching. I had somebody that was confused about that. They joined the free coaching program thinking it was the full suite of things. It's not. But the free coaching program is a great way to get started. It does give you, I think, 6 or 8 different books and guides that you can start using right away. And you are still entitled, even as part of the free coaching program, to the daily semi-private coaching call with Julie. So if you're interested in participating in that, just text the word survival to 31996. Text the word survival to 31996. Now, there's close to 10,000 of you that are in the free coaching program. If you're interested in upgrading to the full service, the full suite of services that we offer as far as the Premier Coaching Program, this is a perfect time to do it, perfect time of year to do it. Just let us know. All you've got to do, again, here's a quick and easy way of doing it. Just text the word Harris, Harris to 31996, and that's telling us that you're ready to join the coaching program. Or obviously you can just go to timandjulieharris.com, and that'll get you going in the right direction too, and just click on coaching and training, and then pull down and just sign yourself up. We do offer financing for that. You can read more about that. But the coaching program, if you finance it, it's very affordable. It's less than $100 a month. So check that out. In the meantime, if you guys need us for anything, obviously the easiest way is you can just text me directly at 512-758-0206. 512-758-0206. And if the question is something I can answer, I'll obviously answer it for you. If it's a really great question, I will then maybe bring it to the podcast so other people can benefit from the answer. And if it's a more of a normal question, then we have a staff of people that will help you as well. So guys, it's our job and our pleasure and our honor to be of service to you. So anything at any time we ever can do for you, do not hesitate to reach out, 512-758-0206. In the meantime, you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll talk with you on the show tomorrow.
This program has been a presentation by Tim and Julie Harris, Real Estate Coaching. For more information on our real estate coaching and training programs, visit our website at timandjulieharris.com. Remember to tune in weekdays at noon for upcoming shows, and until next time, thank you for listening to Real Estate Coaching Radio with Tim and Julie Harris.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.